Hello everyone, this is Ariane Arsenault from La Fille de la Mer, handmade soaps and candles in the Magdalen Islands, Quebec, Canada. Today is International Women's Day and I wish you all a happy and safe day. Women are so important in the world to make the world complete, and today is our day to underline the fact that women take an important role in society and that they should have the same equal rights as all men. So moving on, today's topic, I am actually going to be testing some candle wicks. I have on my workstation the new re-engineered HTP wicks from Atkins Pearce, and they have been out of stock for quite a while on many suppliers' websites. And I was fortunate enough, I reached out to Atkins Pearce and they agreed to send me some samples so that I could test and give my viewers some information about this. However, they do not send out free samples normally. They accepted to do so that I could conduct some tests and then share my experience with you. So let's jump behind my work table and I'll show you the wicks, show you the old ones, and then we'll be making candles with them. On my workstation today, I'm actually going to be making more production on that side a little bit later on, but I'm waiting for my wicks to, for the glue that I'm using to harden up. And so we're going to be working on the samples while these aren't quite ready to be made into candles yet. So I'm simply using my hot plate. It's a Presto griddle, and I'm going to use it to melt my wax in my pouring pitchers. I'm going to be making 3 candles today. This one here will be made with the old HTP 104 that I had in stock. So it's from this bag here. It's from Can Wax. It's a Canadian supplier. And I actually bought these a while ago. They are out of stock right now, as they are in most places where HTP wicks are usually sold. In this little tin, which is exactly the same, I have the new re-engineered HTP 104 wicks. And I also have a 8-ounce status jar. I do not use these jars anymore. I use the larger sizes, but I thought I'd do a test anyways because some of you may be using this size jar and this may be helpful for you. So here are the 2 HTP wicks. So if you look at them just like that, they look similar, but if I give you a closer look, hopefully you can see. This one here is the new re-engineered, and this one here is the old one. And this one looks bigger and thicker. I don't know if the camera can catch this. Let's see. So it's hard to see on camera, but it does seem a little bigger. This may be due to the coating because these wax are pre-tabbed and coated. So maybe it's just the coating that is a little bit thicker. I don't know. But from what Kara, who is a business development at Atkins Pearce, she did state that the construction of the HTP wicks did not change. It was only like an input of yarn change that is the difference between the two. So the chain of supply has been broken for the yarn that they were previously using. So now they had to switch to a new yarn, but everything else should be the same. So that's what we're going to be testing today and see if they burn and perform well and as usual. The fragrance that I have chosen to test today is a new fragrance oil that was gifted to me by Mo Rouge Canada. They are a new fragrance oil supplier here in Canada. They are in Saskatchewan, and oak and whiskey smells just amazing. If you would like to discover these fragrances, I did do an unboxing over on my Instagram account, and I have an IGTV of, smelling and opening the box and smelling all of the fragrances that they sent me. But today we're going to go with oak and whiskey because it's just very warm, very woodsy. It has top notes of sherry that meets bold middle notes of whiskey and warmed up with cozy wood notes at the base. So it's blended with cedarwood and patchouli essential oils. It is is phthalate and paraben free. It is skin safe and candle safe. So why not treat myself with a fragrance that I love? I want to take a moment to thank Atkins Pearce and Cara Crowley. They were so nice and they sent me this box. I didn't need all of these wicks because I mostly use the HTP 1212 and the HTP 105. I do on occasion use the 104, which is why I had it in stock. So they sent me all of the wicks that they had, except the 105, which they didn't have at the time of me contacting them. So I have all of these, the HTP 83, the 76, the 72, I have the HTP 93, and the smaller the number, the smaller the wick. So I may be using them for testings later on with the Coconut 83 wax, which I have an order on the way. But for today, we're gonna be using Eco Soya CB Advanced for my testings because this is the wax that I'm gonna be using in these containers. I have the 1212, that will be for another video later. And I have the HTP 126. And look, they gave me some chocolate. It says hot chocolate on a spoon. So I don't know why it's in there, but it says Atkins and Pearce, so they must make and manufacture and sell chocolates because it's in my box. So thank you for the samples, thank you for allowing me to test, and thank you for the goodies. For record keeping and note taking, I am using the Ultimate Chandler's Workbook by Shop Clean Canvas, and I will be writing down in this book everything that I do not want to forget about this wick testing session. I will leave the links down below if you are looking for any of the things that I've mentioned in this video. So you don't need to take notes, it will be down below. So let's measure the wax that we need to make these 3 tests. So a quick update on Eco Soya. Right now, most wax manufacturers are experiencing like long lead times, delays, and shortages. And Carax, which is the company in the UK who purchased the Eco Soya brands, are facing the same issues. Right now, the lead time is over 12 weeks until you can have your order on the road. They do have some new pastellators to create the beads on the way. I have spoken with Anna Appleton, who works for Carax. And so I think that's really great news. They'll be able to produce more wax shortly. And whenever I have more updates, I will let you know. So let's weigh this wax so that I can make my tests. I love Eco Soya wax. It's my all-time favorite. I've been working with this wax for about 15 years. And although it is not manufactured in the USA, in a different factory in the UK, the final results and the way that it performs when you make the candles is rather similar to what it used to be. There are some slight differences, but it's still a great wax. I still love it. It's still my favorite. Let's put the wax on the griddle. I really like the Presto griddle or any other griddle that has, a thermometer here. You can actually swing this around and set the wax to a certain temperature so that you don't, overheat your wax when you melt it. I usually keep this as a warmer. So I'll melt my wax in my Presto, not my Presto pot. I do have a Presto pot, but in my Primo melters. So I do melt my wax in Primo melters. I rarely use the double boiler method anymore because I just don't like to make a water mess. Wax and waters don't go along so well. But when I do test, melting on a griddle is just perfectly fine. But usually I'll just pour my wax in a larger stock pot and keep it warm on here so that I can have it at a consistent temperature and pour my candles. My wax is melted. I'm waiting for it to reach 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 Celsius to add my fragrance oil as per the manufacturer's recommendations. And I wanted to show you what I use to adhere my wicks now. So you can see in this glass jar, it's called Gasket Maker. It's red RTV. I have it right here. And the reason why I chose that is that it was recommended to me by Jeff Stanley from the YouTube channel Standley Handcrafted, and it actually resists to temperatures up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty hot. Like, your wax is never going to get that hot. And I've tested removing it after the use of the candle, and it's actually not that difficult to pull it out with a pair of pliers. So I really like to adhere my wicks with the red RTV. I don't know if I got a bad batch of wick stickers, but I have 6,000 wick stickers on rolls from 2 different suppliers, and they all pop off whenever I pour anything hotter than 135 Fahrenheit. So that's not very useful when your wicks are just swimming in the wax. All right, almost there. I'm just gonna secure my wicks while I wait for the wax to reach temperature. I really like these centering tools. I will leave the links down below on where you can find similar ones. They just like make centering wicks so much easier. And they come in different sizes to match different vessels. When I make tests, I like to use a skewer or chopsticks, in this case, to pour my fragrance oil so that it actually drizzles down the chopstick rather than pouring on the side of my bottle and spill fragrance oil where it shouldn't be. So since I need a very small amount, I'm going to be doing just that. And this is Oak and Whiskey by Moe Rouge, Canada. They do ship to the US. Exchange rate is great right now for you in the US. This smells just fabulous. I love it. It's very, very sexy for sure. So my fragrance load is 8%. This is what I like with Eco Soya. It gives a nice cold and hot throw. So there we go, voila. Always have paper towels around when you make candles. Stir for a minute. Time to pour. So I will pour on a scale because I like to know exactly how much wax goes into my candles. So this is the old HTP 104. So I'm going to put it in front of the marker that I noted right here. Here's the new. This smells amazing. I love it. And here's the 8-ounce status jars. And this one should hold about 180 grams of hot wax. Yes. Perfect. 181. Right. I'll be back when this is ready to test burn. Test burn. All right. So now that I've taken all my notes in my Chandler's book, I'm going to turn to the test burn pages, and we will go ahead and light these candles. So this is the old, the new wick. They've been trimmed to about 1/4 inch. Let's see. Yep, that's good. All right. And it is 10 past 10 a.m. So, okay, I'm gonna note the date. Okay, right. So, we'll be back in an hour. So far, they look nice, but we need to wait and run this for a good 4 hours. So I'll be back in and out through the burning process. One thing that I was recommended by Atkins and Pearce is that when you conduct tests with the new re-engineered HTP Wicks, you should most likely start with the same wig that you were previously using. So if you were using a 104, start with a 104 and see if that works well, because they should be rather similar. Some makers have had to wick up or down 1 or 2 sizes, but in general, they should perform pretty similar to what they used to be. I am 30 minutes into the burn test, and I just wanted to show a couple things. First of all, the burn pool or the melt pool is rather similar in all 3 tests. I do notice that the middle one here seems to be just a little bit bigger than the other ones, but this may be due to the wick trimming. Like it may have been cut like a little bit taller than the other one, as these are all cut by hand. And the flame are also very consistent from one candle to the other. I do not have any soothe. We do not have too much flickering, and they seem to be burning well. Also, when I touch the container, it's not hot, it's still very cool to the touch. And at the end of the 4 hour, I will take the temperature of the wax just to make sure that they are safe to burn without, overheating or anything. This is the 2-hour burn test. I have a melt pool that is complete, that is a little bit over 1/4 inch deep. My flames are about 1 inch tall. There is no soothe. However, if I do have some movement or airflow, they do produce a little bit of soothe. And I do find that for a 2-hour burn time, I think I'm overwicked. So I do have other samples here. So my next test, I will go down probably with the HTP 83 or even the 73, because I do have a wick chart recommendations, and they say that for soy wax type, the 73 is good for vessels of 2 to 3 inch diameter. So I'm gonna go with that. And I will give you guys updates whenever I make more tests with the HTP Wicks. But I mean, this isn't that bad. I mean, I'll still be able to use these at home, but I wouldn't sell them like this, because if somebody were to power burn something, over 4 hours and forget a burning candle, I would be afraid that these would overheat. I will still do a checkup after 4 hours and show you what they look like. But for now, I think they are a little overwicked. However, the fragrance is amazing. Well, I actually left the workshop. Don't worry, they were supervised. We have an employee working. And I came back just recently, and when I walked in, I could absolutely smell the fragrance when I walked in the room. So I absolutely love the oak and whiskey. It smells really wonderful to my nose. So I'll be back in a couple hours. And 4 hours in the burn test. I don't know if you can see. Well, yeah, you can see. So there is medium southing. The flame is producing black soothe. So I don't like that. I mean, it's not out of control. The flames are still under 2 inches tall, but I don't like personally that my flames are this big, so I will definitely make another test later with smaller wicks. And what I might end up doing is like wick a whole bunch of these containers with all of the smaller wicks and just light them all at once. Also, one of the reasons why the 104 may be too much for this tin and this wax is that my regular line, I do wig them with the 105, but I'm using the C6 soy wax by Cargill, which is much harder and has a higher melt temperature than the Eco Soya, so this may be why. And there's a little bit of mushrooming. You can see the black kind of ball that's forming on top of the wick, which also creates a larger flame. So now let's test the temperature to see what it looks like. So here I am at 133 Fahrenheit, which is around 54, 55 Celsius. Here I am at 155, which is a lot. It's still, you know, under the maximum recommended temperature. And this one is at 112 Fahrenheit. So I guess this one is the one that's producing the less soothing? No, it's not soothing, it's sudding. I can't pronounce that word. Anyways, so I will blow these out and I will put a timer to measure the length of time that the wicks keep emitting smoke after they have been turned off. I'm assuming it will be more than 10 seconds and we want to aim for below that. So, okay, so here's the chrono. I'm gonna start it as soon as I blow. I'm gonna try and blow them all at once. And so you wanna do this when you make candles, and ideally, they should stop emitting smoke under 10 seconds. Oh, look at that. These two are no longer emitting smoke. This one is, and stop. Yeah, so 16 seconds. That's too long, but for an overwicked candle, it's not that bad. That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed testing with me. Even though this one was not conclusive, I still wanted to share the video with you so that you understand how candle testing works. Next up, I will be wicking a whole bunch and testing all of the wicks that I think could be a good match for my tins, because I am awaiting a large shipment of Eco Soya 3D Advanced, and I need to figure out my wick size before I get the wax. I already know that for my larger status jars, I need the 105, but I don't know what I need still for my tins, so let the testing continues. If you make candles, look up the Ultimate Chandler's workbook. It's a great tool to keep track of all of your testings. It comes in different colors too. You can choose your front. And as soon as I know when HTP Wicks are back on the market, I will link the suppliers that I know about in the description box down below. So be patient, and when you do find supplies, buy a little extra so that you have enough for your business to keep going. The shortage is not easy. We need to plan ahead, order ahead. Hopefully life as usual will be back within a couple years, hopefully faster than later, but we have to deal with that. So thanks again for watching. Thank you to Atkins Pearce. Thank you to Eco Soya and Mo Rouge for the amazing supplies that they've provided me for testings. Stay safe, and I will see you later in another video.